Yep, sounds good.
Hello folks, Wilson Ninja here bringing you another nerdy video. Today I got a very interesting video for you. Uh, I've been talking about D&D for the past year or so since I started this channel, and I always wanted at one point to get a chance to talk to a player who has never played before and who is fairly new to the hobby. Now I got Patrick here, also known as Number One from Middle Sports, who had his first Dungeons and Dragons game ever last Friday. Hey Patrick, first question I want to ask, did it meet or go under or above your expectations that you would expect from Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, so first of all, hello to everyone watching, and it to be honest with you, it went above my expectations. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's a bunch of stuff that I didn't really expect. Mainly, the biggest thing I'd say for me was how not scripted the whole thing is. Like, just how much freedom there is in the whole story thing. Like, some of the stuff that went on, I didn't really expect that would have happened. Like, I mean, it went to show for me just how different a game can play, just depending on like the players. It has nothing to do with what story you would have had said. It depends it all depends on what kind of ideas the players have and what they're going to do and stuff. So that was definitely something interesting to me, because like, I mean, I'm so used to, well, any kind of game that I play is usually going to have some scripted thing or some story that's already been written. But it was weird to kind of see how much freedom there was in this.
Yeah. So, speaking of games, what games do you normally play? Like, what is the most open game you have played?
So most open game, like in terms of like do whatever you want kind of thing.
Yes, something like that.
Like, I mean, like, there's plenty of sandbox games, like for example, like Elite Dangerous, for instance, where you basically are put out and you're not told, or even Skyrim, for example, in some regards, not completely, but like, where you're not told to do anything, you just go out and do whatever you want.
But there's still that overline story arc that the dragons are
that's
coming
true,
back.
that's it. And then when there's not a storyline, like where you can just do whatever you make up the story yourself. Like, for example, Elite Dangerous, right? Like, I remember when the game first came out, like, there was no real story. You kind of just did whatever you felt like, and you make your own story, sure, but like, they're good, but they don't not they don't compare, but there's a difference between a story that you kind of create on your own and something that's been written. And for me, with D&D, it was kind of like you start the game and there's something that's kind of been written. Like, see, the way you had a kind of idea set out. We would have been doing something. But the fact that you can kind of just throw it all away and then just move on to something completely different, that's kind of interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we talked about how this is completely open to you, like in terms of what you're normally used to. How did you feel about the combat and the fact that instead of having to rely on your imagination and the DM's description, how did that feel for you?
It's just, it's super badass. Like, I mean, at first, I still think it's quite complicated. There's a lot to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And it's not straightforward at all. But like, I mean, yeah, there's so much freedom. Like, especially like in that game when Marco was like, okay, I'm gonna dig up a hole. I was like, seriously, you just do whatever you want. Like, there's no limits to what you can do in combat.
Yeah.
In a way, like, yeah.
That is true, especially for when now ever since Critical Role, the show with D&D that is done by voice actors. I think their DM, Matt Mercer, who's an amazing voice actor. Do you play Overwatch, by the way, Patrick?
Not really. Like, I've tried it. But
okay. You know the cowboy in it?
Yeah.
The one that says High Noon.
Yeah.
That is Matt Mercer's voice.
It's pretty damn like badass voice, yeah.
Now, funny enough, I think it's him that coined it, or he took it from someone else. I think when he grew up playing D&D, but a lot of DMs now do it. Is the how do you want to do this? How did it feel when you got that chance in the gladiatorial arena to describe the end of the fight how you wanted?
I think that's just like, I mean, it's so good because it really helps you define what character you have. Like, you can really flesh it out by all these like small little details, asking how would you kill me. It was awesome. Like, that I love that, to be honest. Like, that whole like make it up, and I think that the more I play, the more interesting these options would get for me. The more creative I might get, or the more like in detailed stuff might become. Like that's definitely a welcome welcome thing. Like, you know.
Now, instead of playing one of the more simpler classes, like, or should I say more straightforward classes, you decided to opt for a bit, like, first off, you broke what is normally done by most new players. Most new players pick one class, they pick like a barbarian, a rogue, cleric, or a fighter, or even a wizard if they feel like they can manage it. But no, you decided to go, they normally don't multi-class so early. You, on the other hand, have decided to multi-class. And also, you picked a very unique class. You picked a homebrew class created by, in fact, Matt Mercer. What drew you to playing a class rather than going through one of the other classes that were already designed by Wizards? And especially even going away from the fighter, which is, by most, considered the easiest class to play.
Well, first of all, like when making the character, like I wanted to make like a really interesting. I wanted to make an interesting character. You know, this is like it seemed like an interesting game. It seemed like where you can make the most badass characters you ever. I wanted to come up with something, you know, quite interesting. Like, and to be honest, the base classes of like a warrior and like a sword on its own, they sound a bit like, you know, like not as a bit bland. Like, you know, like a warrior on its own is not going to be as interesting as a combination of other two characters. So. For me, it was. I mean, I realize now that yeah, sure, the difficulty soars completely, and for a new player, it's probably not the best idea to be multi-classing. But when I designed the character, what I really focused on was kind of like his story. Like, what would be awesome for a character like this? You know, like it didn't like the game was kind of like, you know, I'll try and learn as I go.
You decided, yeah.
As I go, like, even though he's really hard, but like overall, it just works. It's an interesting story that I had for the character, and I was like, yeah, definitely this class works the best. That's interesting. Just basically, I just tried to come up with something that was as interesting as I could, like, you know, not just leave it so kind of classical with warrior and mage and all that kind of thing.
Hell, did you like? How did you find the character L, which was played by Mark?
I thought like he knew what he was it was awesome. Like, I mean, the guy knew what he was doing with the character.
Yeah,
like, I could tell. Like, it felt like, you know.
Actually, the funny thing is, though, Mark has very little experience with 5th edition. He has D&D experience, but he's not. I think mostly he played was 3.5 or Pathfinder. So he's. But the funny thing is, though, his character L is actually in the same boat as your character. When he made L, it was more to feel the water of the group and the edition. He had other characters planned out, but the reason why he made L was to get a sense of what the group was like.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like,
so,
a really kind of social kind of character, more so than a serious one that would just kind of had a very specific goal. He's just like talking with everyone and kind of, you know, but
creating his own wacky little plans.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, just to let you know about some of the freedom. Like, again, I'm sure I believe I did tell you the story about L negotiating butt naked with a green dragon.
Yeah. To be honest, like, and I mean, once I saw the combat, like, I literally, one of my thoughts was, wait, how did he do that again? Like, I mean, what would he have to?
He was not fighting. Like, it was done purely in role playing, so there was no combat. But the thing is, though, it did rapidly devolve into combat, which he had to do naked. Which his character did die. His character did die, though. But luckily, we had a scroll that brought him back to life.
That's so cool.
Also, Also, not only are you trying to homebrew class straight off the bat, you have been given a legacy. What people sometimes call legacy or artifact weapons, a sentient weapon at that.
Yeah, pretty badass one. Yeah.
Now, we talked about class description. What if I was to tell you that Wizard was actually the hardest tiered character to play?
I'm not surprised, to be honest. I mean, like, it seems like he could have so many different spells. From what I read, like, he almost can have any spell he wants, kind of, right? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you know, the more complicated the character is, I'd say.
No, but it's not just that. It's also you sort of struggled with remembering your own class abilities. Now, again, you are new, So that is totally understandable. But imagine trying to play a wizard when you're completely new to D&D. Because
Do you know what's funny? Like, I really wanted to play a wizard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, my backup character at the moment is like a wizard style because he just seems so cool. But like, yeah, he's
imagine the
hardest class
options.
in the game.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
not. It's also due to the fact that with your blood hunter, you have several things that use up your bonus action. For example, your curse, igniting your weapon, and the like. But for a wizard, your action is straight up either swing your weapon or do something else. a wizard,
Oh yeah.
a wizard has all their spells. For example, my high level wizard at one point, which was level 16, had over 20 spells. And I would have, by the time my turn comes, I have to know, in order so that the combat doesn't get slowed down, I have to decide what I'm going to do, or other players who are playing wizards, they have to look at the battlefield and quickly decide which of their many spells they have to cast.
Sounds so cool.
Now, eventually that's going to happen to you because you're second class. You're a blood hunter mostly, but you did dip your toe into sorcerer. So that will eventually become you when it comes to your sorcerer
that's
options.
pretty cool.
And the sorcerer can do a lot of stuff with their bonus actions. So eventually you're going to have to learn the habit of quickly looking at the battlefield and plan what you want to do.
Yep. Oh, like, that's the interesting bit, like learning to play and all these abilities and stuff. Yeah.
And you also got your chance to see also firsthand of how, because of the freedom that D&D brings, the amount of straight up snap decisions had to be made. For example, the mobs. Like when Elle and the rest of the party decides, oh, we're going to free everyone. How did you feel when as you kept freeing these people, you then amassed a small, I don't know if you would call it a platoon or battalion, but you amassed like 30 NPCs.
It just felt like, this is basically kind of like out of a movie or a book or something like that. Like, it just went that like epic route. But like, to be honest, like, I just thought for a second, like, wow, that how lucky could you have been? Because when Mark was opening all the doors, I was like, damn, he's completely stealth. Every single turn he was getting high stealth, right? And I was like wondering what would happen if the next one he just get like 2 or something like that. Basically, all his plans would have gone to shit.
Exactly. That
was interesting. Like,
and unlike video games, you can't just then reload.
So, like, what's cool about it is that, like, there's plenty of these epic moments to be had, and I'm sure there's gonna be bits where, like, completely fuck up and you're like,
oh yeah, hell, there's even moments where, again, I'm gonna call back to Critical Role because they're the most famous D&D group, where they spent 2 high-level spell slots to, I think it was 2 or 3, they spent several spell slots in order to open a door. Because they didn't have the means to unlock the door.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
that's just,
so
plans, like, would it be worth it, like?
So plans can go quickly awry, and especially when, like, for example, like, again with Kirk Roll, they make plans. Each time they went against one of their big, huge boss battles, like whenever they were going against, spoiler alert, 5, 3, 2, 1. When they were going against Tordak, the fire dragon that took over the city of Amon, they had a whole plan planned out. But as soon as they got there, it quickly fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that. Like, but sure, like that's the interesting bit. That's what makes it interesting for me, is knowing the fact that you can fail so easily. Like, I remember when I was fighting, and I got hit once, and I got my health went down. I don't know, like 18 or something. I was like, oh shit, I could actually die. Like, this is not like, oh, I'm just some badass guy that I can basically walk through the whole game, no worries. I was like, yeah, this is serious. Like, if I don't take care, I'm probably gonna die,
Yeah, so, there's a lot of Dark Souls logic there is when it comes to D&D. Like, it's because it's a dice game. Because it's a dice game, a series of bad luck, unlucky dice rolls, your character can just go out. But the other thing is, though, there's also another balance is, you have to be careful of the metagaming, such as
Yeah.
taking, like, for example, say you just you find the one of the adventure books, let's say Tomb of Annihilation, right? And you knew where the target location was, such as was the hidden city of Amu. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But anyway, that city is hidden in the jungle. It's not marked on the map, except for the DM's map. But say if you as a player have already played Tomb of Annihilation and you know where the city was, you cannot have your new character know where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to separate what you as a player knows
and what your character knows.
Yeah.
I get that. That like shit, sure, like that's interesting. Like yeah, but I mean again, like it's a cool aspect I think because you know you're not just so like it's even this whole idea of kind of like having other characters and stuff. Like there's constantly stuff you can change with you can make a new one, you can re-roll whatever. Like so, I mean I think that's a good idea, not just sticking to one. Like
Oh yeah.
kind of. Yeah, I just think it's quite interesting, and then you're kind of working on making that one character have like a great legacy,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in sandbox games, like in my game, everyone is trying to do something because they know in my game, even if their character was to die, I'll still reference them. For example,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
for example, we had one member, Brian, whose character died, and his actions are still resonating throughout the world, especially when it comes to the character L, as well as the fact of how he died and what killed him. So even
Yeah.
a small little death like that can have massive ripples, and the same happens when with Wong leaving. Wong is still out there. Like when Wong left the group, his character just didn't vanish. His character is still out there.
Yeah.
And so is the monastery that he's from.
Yeah, like I can see that. Like your characters have a big impact, and that's what's awesome. Like it's this whole world that you kind of manipulate as you play the game. So it's cool.
Yes, one of the core tenets is not only the DM creates the world, yes, but it's the players that what makes it evolve. Because it's only through the players' decisions will something happen. For example, during the trial where for example, Mark says one little thing, he gets framed for murder, and again that had ripple effects,
Yeah.
And
True.
as
I guess yeah.
now, as a new player, is there anything in particular that you hope to accomplish as in Dungeons and Dragons? Like, is there one thing that you would love to do within Dungeons and Dragons?
To be honest with you, like I actually kind of like the whole like aspect of coming up with characters and stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to trying new characters and kind of making up their story, having their impact on the game. Like at the moment with this character that I've made, it's mainly gonna be like I'm gonna find some big enemy that I want to kill, or any chance I get to fight some high end like boss or something like that, something evil, or whatever. I kind of go for that. I would like to kind of build up a reputation for him, and if in the case that he doesn't make it, whatever, he'll be known as kind of risk taker type of.
So your objective with I'm forgetting, I'm blanking on your character's name.
Yeah, Aranis, I'd say.
Aranis. So your main goal with that character is just for him to be remembered, basically like an Achilles.
Yeah, I want him to be remembered, but like at the moment I don't even know the big enemies. I haven't even had. But once I set my eyes on something,
Well,
a big fish.
well,
a big
you
fish or
made.
something like.
Well,
I'm not gonna, like it'll take a while. I'm not.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
I'll do it in a couple of weeks. I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for this like long term. Eventually, when
Yeah.
he's accomplished and stuff, he'll.
Well,
that's
who
his goal,
knows? You made a pretty bold statement at the end of last week's
Yeah, like
session.
that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, that's the kind of character that I'm
Like,
gonna-
it's your first time playing Dungeons and Dragons, and already you have your eyes set on killing a king.
Yeah, like
So-
to be honest, I know, but listen, like that's the whole cool awesomeness of the game. Like, you'll make it intense, and that's
Yeah, you can. All I can say is you can certainly try.
yeah, you can certainly try. You said that,
Like
man,
it's
yeah.
the rule. It's the rule of cool. For example, it's unreal. Like again, folks, here's a cool example. Now, it's from the stories from another YouTuber who what happens in one of his games. But again, it's a perfect example of the rule of cool. In one of his games, there was this tower that they were in like a tall ass wizard tower, and it began toppling over. And while the rest of the party teleported out, he was left behind. So one of his players says, "I'm going to take a shield, and I'm going to surf down it."
Alright,
Now, realistically, the DM was well within his rights to say, "Yeah, no, you can't accomplish that." Instead, he gave him a series of checks to see if he could manage it. All he said was, "You can certainly try." The guy got a natural 20, so he managed to get down that tower, surfing along a shield. It's a,
yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
So not like, again, whether his character lived or died, that player, just because the DM allowed him to try, he would have wound up with a cool story. Oh, his character's dead. Oh well, I have a cool ass story to tell about my character's dead.
That's the kind of stuff I like to go for.
But
like,
if he lives, it's even more of a cool story.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of stuff like that. I'm looking forward to seeing those kind of stories. And already, the fact that like we managed to escape and this like that was quite epic for me. So
again, I'm going to say this now because it's no longer a spoiler and it's not going to happen anyway. My plan was for that to be several sessions, like users were going to be there for several nights, getting to know.
Yeah, you said that.
To get to know the other prisoners and the other gladiators.
You were even saying that like they would have eventually fought me, or I would have eventually fought them.
You would have. The chances of you fighting one of the Lunar Guard was going to be high.
Yeah, exactly.
But L threw a wrench in that plan.
Like, listen, that's the whole beauty of the game. Like, you just see where it takes you.
I've been playing for 2 years, and I'm glad that you seem to enjoy yourself. So all right, as a player, okay, let's forget about your character right now, okay? You as a player, what is the one thing you want to do in Dungeons & Dragons? For me, it was fight and kill a dragon. That was on my D&D bucket list.
All right, fine. Well, at the moment with this character, I have basically two things. So there's character, but I'm also just thinking about the wizard character, really interesting. But for this character, definitely want to kill a demon or a devil or something like that. Definitely want to, and I'm thinking about like somehow managing to trick my way up the ranks or something and killing a good one, not just any ordinary like not obviously the biggest one, but something like a bigger fish type of thing. But anyways, just killing a demon or a devil.
So you want to sorry, hold on, let me get this right. Your overall plan, something that you want to accomplish, is to hold on.
That's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to basically be like the double agent within hell.
Yeah, man. That sounds so cool. If I could infiltrate my way into the I don't even know.
Hell, all you need to do is find a devil that will agree to take you into his service. And
I swear, I want to backstab a devil.
Oh my god!
And then kill him.
That's a dangerous game, man. Like,
I don't know how dangerous this game is. And listen, if my character dies at any point, then I'll know. Okay, this is serious. I can't be fucking up.
Hello, Patrick. Are you still there? We seem to have lost you.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, like, what I'm saying is, like, I don't know how easy it is to die. I don't know what it is, but at the moment, I have no experience with the game. But so if I die or if I see that it's getting too risky, but at the moment, I have no idea how dangerous it is or how. But
that's something
might as well come do something like that.
Yeah, it's your goal as a player is just at some point infiltrate hell and kill.
Like listen, like my thing is that like
when we say talk about sorry, hold on. Yeah. When we talk about when we're talking kill a devil. Do you mean one of the archdevils, one of the ones that rule hell? Is that the one you're referring to, or are you just referring to any type of devil?
Well, listen, like my character is a demon devil killer, right? So like I'm gonna take pride in killing as many as I can, and if I come up with like eventually, this is the character that I made that kind of would like him eventually to. Man, yeah, if I kill an archdevil, Jesus, that's way too.
Yeah, I would be posting that, like, that would be the one episode. If you managed to accomplish that, I would be sharing the shit. I'll be spreading it to the four corners.
Listen, like, I'll tell you what, on my book, that's on my bucket list. Maybe not with this character,
but with
like,
a character.
Or just a character one day. if it's with this character, I'll probably play it safe as hell. You know, it'll take me a while. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a real long time before I get the experience and the confidence to start like
Game of Thrones shit.
Like, yeah, but like, I mean, that's well, like, listen, that's just like, wow, what if a dream kind of thing. At the moment, it's first of all, I need to get acquainted with the game. I need to get overall, it is kind of hunting demons and devils and like.
I'm not saying your goal is too high. I'm just saying it's a very high or high goal.
It's a hard one. Sure, listen, like when I made this character, I wanted to make it like someone that would be interesting and balanced. Not just like a safe player kind of like that. Like, it's meant to be one of those kind of characters.
The funny thing is though, your goal is going to be very interesting. Not only that, because let's say you continue working on it and no one in the party has had a character death, right? Everyone is. Let's say we reach like level 20, and all our characters are still alive. And your character goes about setting on this path. Depending on the devil that you pick, it may end up having you come to odds with a certain character within our party.
Yeah.
Whose power is actually coming from one of the archdevils. So, who knows? Depending on which devil, I'm not going to say which devil it is, but let's say, again, this might end up, before you fighting the devil, you might end up having to fight a fellow player, which will be very interesting. Oh wow! But okay, so with that being said, this video is nearly 3 minutes long. Patrick, it was fun talking to you, and I'm glad to hear that.
You too.
And I'm glad to hear that you're really enjoying Dungeons and Dragons. Hell, I'm now looking for it just for the fact that you're setting your goals high. I want to see you play more.
I do, man. I want to see what I can do, man.
Just to see it.
This could either end up me dying in the next couple of games because I make a stupid decision trying to be a bad, but like you never know. It depends.
Hey, I'm not gonna. The thing is, as a DM, I can't make things too easy for you. But hey, I'm rooting for you to go down.
I want it to be as hard as it is. Like, like the game is meant to be realistic, so we'll see.
Well, to a point.
To a point, exactly.
But I'm just saying though. I'm just saying I want to see you get I want to see you get your chance to fight a devil.
I'll see, man. Like I'll have to be damn confident to know how to fight a demon devil.
No, see, a demon or devil, you can fight them. Like a level 3, there are some devils and demons that you could fight. But the fact that
I'm gonna fight plenty to kill.
I'm
looking for the big one. Yeah,
the archdevil. They have the power that can rival gods. So they're not gods, but they're close to gods.
Well, listen, like that's the whole point of my character. From the minute I made him, I was like, this guy is gonna be a demon. He's not just gonna be a demon. He's gonna try and kill the biggest one he can find. But
All right.
Sure.
Well, Patrick, we'll see how your assassination.
We'll see next time. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how if I fail or not.
Again, who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. That's the whole thing about.
Your assassination attempt could possibly begin this Friday, and I'm looking forward to seeing what type of plans your character may come up with. And again, just a really interesting character.
Thanks, but that's miles away. Like I'll have to first.
They're still the king. That's who I'm referring to at the moment.
King. That's the one that I'm next this Saturday. That's the one that I want for the king.
This Saturday, this Friday.
This Friday, yeah.
Oh wow.
King time. King killing time.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a special title for that
the fact that like everyone is acting so surprised makes me believe that this is way out of what I should be thinking.
No, it's not
probably
that.
Gonna end up getting killed. What if I play it safe? We'll see. I'll probably.
It can be done.
Even me just like getting a slash at him or injuring him and somehow like it depends. Like I'll play it safe. I won't just be rushing in and getting.
Oh yeah, of course. Your character is a blood hunter, so
It's going to be, but
it's all about you're trained in the hunt and not to just rush into things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, blood hunters take in some of the darkness in themselves. So yeah, your character can be a vindictive asshole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, I'll see you hopefully tomorrow at Lewis Sports where
Alright then.
we remained of having a few
Try to
matches.
make it,
Yeah.
on that. I'll try
But yeah,
this
folks.
tomorrow.
That was Patrick, a crazy ass blood hunter. Will he succeed? Will he not? Well, I'm looking forward to find out. And this is also
I'll do it.
This is Wolf Ninja signing out. May the force be with you, and remember, roll for initiative.